Lost me to Martha.
You can sit up there with Yoshi. Let me actually put this up here. Yoshi looking at you like you don't know what he said. Tell Yoshi you better squabble up. Yeah, Yoshi just squabble up. Here you go.
What was crazy about dogs? See how dogs interact with kids so funny. They be so like gentle, and the dogs and the kids be aggressive as a
No,
Yeah. Rocky good with kids though.
yeah. It's like they
Surprisingly.
know. They know. Yeah, it's like they know. Like
that's how Yoshi be looking
why?
too. He like, man, I already know. Like DJ will grab him, may grab his tail a little too hard. He be like, okay, I know. I already
Why?
know.
Like, this young nigga here.
I get it. But come on now.
Only got about two
Come
more
on now.
grabs. Burn your hand one time. Let you know. Dog nigga.
I got that channel up. I hate when that junk just say YouTube. Let me see if I can make the whole thing show up. I guess it didn't work. Alright, let's go. Let's go. We got a couple people in now. I don't know who, but alright. So we got new League of Tiers starting up today. We got Carlock,
Bow, bow, bow.
Charlotte Hornets owner. We got CK, Dallas Mavericks owner.
Slow beamy in buckets.
And then you got me, Grizz owner. We're gonna start up another league, man. We got 9 users for the league this year, season 1. Format gonna be a little bit different. If you've seen the rules, you know. If you haven't seen the rules, I suggest you please bring them up. We tried to do a good job of making everybody aware of what's going on with the league for the first year. We're gonna test out a new format, which is it's gonna be a 58 game format. Users will play 6 games a week, only required to play 24 games total. I've sent every user their week 1 schedule, which will have 2 users. They'll have 2 users and a computer team. So this season we got 4 designated computer teams, man, that will be excluded from being picked. And these will be the teams that have the ability, you'll have broadcasted games against these computer teams as well. Those 4 teams are Phoenix, OKC, Denver, and Boston. So if everyone's seen their schedule, then you may have one of those teams on their schedule for week 1. If you play one team this week, you'll play a different team next week and so forth. But outside of that, the schedule is going to be pretty consistent. We're going to make sure that, we're starting today, but the actual league and the broadcast of games will be starting on Sunday, just to give everybody a couple days to get started. Get used to the roster, get used to some of the sliders and things like that. But outside of that, also want to highlight that if you play more computer games, we do have an incentive for everyone. If you play, so we require to play 24 games total out of 58. If you end up reaching 34 games, which is that's 10 additional computer games, you get a bronze badge upgrade. If you end up playing 44 games, which is additional 20 games, you end up getting a silver badge upgrade. And if you are a high achiever and you want to play all your games this year, you'll get a gold badge upgrade plus your choosing of a player to upgrade their potential, their letter grade potential. So let's say you got a player, let me go to my roster right quick, showcase. So let's say you got a player.
Can you share your screen too?
Yeah, let me share my screen.
We
Oh, it's
all
already
like
sharing.
potential.
It was already being shared. I think it just said. There we go. I started again.
HIV
You
killing
sit, Colin. I can't do that. And Brian can. I ain't sharing. All right. So if you go to potential, and let's say you got a player, and you see you play all. Let's say first of all you play all 58 of your games. You get the gold badge upgrade, and let's say, man, I want to upgrade Santi. He a C plus potential, so upgrade will look like a B minus for Santi. Or let's say Marcus Smart. If you want to upgrade somebody like that, you can go from a B minus to a B. But every year you play all your games, you can use that upgrade potentially on a player. So that's just an incentive for people to knock out as many games as possible. The game. So let me make sure everyone understands as well that you're not required to play more than the 24 games. You're not required to play more than 24 games, and essentially what it end up happening. You'll get a sim for the games that are unplayed, but the injuries will be off. And then what did we decide, fellas? We said we'll just sim straight up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are we simming them games straight up? Yep.
Straight
So,
up.
yep. So I guess that is another incentive for people. Like,
Right.
if you feel like you go 24-0 in your 24 games and you ain't play any more games, just know that sim may knock you down a little bit, in terms of your record. So everyone kind of got an incentive to play more games overall, but we don't want to put a 50 plus game schedule on everybody plate either. So it kind of gives everybody flexibility to do what they feel comfortable doing. But like I said, everybody got their week 1 schedule. The weeks will start on Sunday, every Sunday, and then the weeks will end every Saturday. And then after this, Carlock, CK, one of y'all can elaborate. But I think, with the schedules each week, how we'll probably want to do it is making sure every user will have at least 2 games against their opponent. So I got the Pistons twice this week because it's versus Pistons at Pistons. Then I think I got I forgot who else I got, another user. So that's 4 games right there, and then you have your 2 games against that computer opponent. Ideally, try to schedule out your games in advance. We noticed that the pattern that works well is kind of how the football scheduling works. With college football or Madden, everybody kind of get 48 hours to knock out a week. We're hoping that everybody can kind of do the same thing within this league, where you have maybe a 2 to 3 day period to schedule your games against each user, and then knock out your computer games too. Fellas, what y'all got? What y'all want to add?
I'll let Carla go.
Pretty much, man, it's kind of self-explanatory. If you guys really adhere to the schedule, in fact, it's a Sunday through Saturday type of format. All of us have been in the college football league, a man of some sort. Basically, the best week that you have in college football and Madden is when the week advances. You got a user game, for a fact, in a week you have 6 games. That's a user game, computer game that has to be broadcasted once a day. The benefit that we have in basketball versus football is you got all the other computer games to play versus going in practice or looking at trades. You can actually work on getting some of your computer games knocked out between those games. So, for example, there says he has the Pistons, and he has the Kings, and he has the computer set Suns. So there says, okay, cool. And you schedule with the Pistons. I mean, when can you run? The Pistons, I believe, is Trey. Is that Trey? No, who is
No, it's J-Rock. Kings is
J-Rock.
Trey.
J-Rock said, I can't play till tonight. Okay, cool. I can play tonight. Y'all schedule y'all game for 8 o'clock. So y'all sit there and say, you schedule your game for 8 o'clock. Are we going to play both games tonight, back to back? Or you want to play one today and one tomorrow? That's up to you and they. Y'all make sure they get out. Then, if you guys play both games today, cool. Knock it out, back to back. If you want to play one game a day, cool. Up to y'all. But as long as you play those games, once he knock out the Pistons, we can play the Kings. If you want to play the Pistons once, play the Kings next. Do the Pistons Kings tomorrow. It don't matter. As long as them games get played within their week 1 time frame. Because if your week 1 time frame comes about and you have not played those games, then you ain't holding up the week. They're just, my mind, what's it, a force loss? A straight up force? Because I think if you able to schedule a game within a week's time span, is that fair?
Yeah.
So if you
Yeah,
not
if it's
doing
a
that,
user
then-
game.
And honestly, it's really just 4 games you got to schedule because the 2 computer games, they can be knocked out in an hour. You know.
So you guys have true roster flexibility schedule the whole week. So just kind of just make sure you're playing them extra games, man. You know for a fact, if I play CK and I lose the first game, I might, hey man, we'll play tomorrow. I need to sit there and I might want to knock out a couple games to kind of get more adhered to my schedule if possible. Because I don't want to lose back-to-back user games. Or you might just knock them out back-to-back and just say, okay, before I play my next user, we get some of these computer games under my belt, get more used to my team. You got all the flexibility to hit their games a long time. And you only required to play 20. But the more games you play, the more comfortable you're going to be with your roster, the more you'll be equipped to play. Because it's not a play-in format. It is 16 teams that's going to make the playoffs. So you don't want to have 24 wins, but your team, you overachieve with your team, and you end up having losses. You go 6-12 the rest of the way. That's what they look like. You make 6-8, whatever it is, the rest of the way. So now what you looking like? You're not doing good. You missed the playoffs and you were on pace to be a 1 seed. Now you just ain't gonna look good. So play your games, get them badges, incentives. Potentially take advantage of the opportunity.
And we'll have more on how like the badge incentives will work and everything because they kind of will be tied to ratings too. Like a guy that got a 63 ball can't get a gold set shooter badge. So we'll have to I release later what it looks like, a certain type of rating this player may need to have to get the proper upgrade just to make it realistic. But also it's a lot of incentives to have, and you can upgrade your players every year. And so I think that's a pretty good incentive that was created by Carlock, CK, and me, for us to get through that. So I mean, outside of that, I'm trying to think, is there anything? Oh, so like you said, Carlock, it is a 16 team format, so it's no East versus West playoff format. Outside of that, there's also a shorter playoff format overall too. It used to be 7-game series every round, but now the first 2 rounds is only going to be a 3-game series. So 2-0, you out. 2-0, you out in the first round. So just be mindful of that. Like if it's a 1-1 series, that means that next game gonna be big, and that may mean home court advantage may mean a little bit more for certain teams too. So the first 2 rounds are 3-game series, and then the conference finals and the finals will be 5-game series. And so, those will go best of whoever gets the 3 wins first in those last 2 rounds. So that helps shorten the format a little bit for the season, because we figured that playoffs tend to be a little bit longer with them 7-game series, and most of the time you got a computer team in that first round anyway. So this is just to shorten that up too, make it a little bit easier to get into the off season. But outside of that, what you got, CK?
I really don't have too much to add right now. I laid it out pretty well. It's up to the users, man. How engaged you want to be. There's incentives. The more you play, the better it can be for you in the long run. So just hope everybody's ready to knock the games out, communicate, and make it easy and smooth.
Communication is key. Talk to each other.
Yeah, I think communication gonna be big, and like I said, we're gonna try to help out the first go around because we know it's a different format. That's why we went on and sent out the schedules for everybody. But we'll make sure to keep checking the group me, because we'll make sure we put reminders in the group me nonstop, the Gord alerts, and then also I think the other Probably the other thing is check the rules too. A lot of the rules remain the same, like gameplay rules remain the same, but the main thing is broadcasting the game. So all user games, the road team broadcast. That's a similar rule that we always had. But then those designated for computer teams, you got to broadcast all those games too. So every user should have eight computer broadcasted games during the season for those 4 teams. Now, if you play that game and don't broadcast it, then first time around, I don't know, you may get a warning or something, but we expecting everybody to just go ahead and broadcast those games, because those teams are really some of the better teams in the league, and so it'll be fun just to kind of get a different view of a team's roster and how they play, outside of the user game. So hopefully,
Hear that, Keith?
yeah. So hopefully, and we'll put constant reminders in the chat too. So I mean, because I'm gonna keep putting constant reminders in the chat for the broadcasted computer games. But we already know the user games will be broadcasted. Roll team get those knocked out. But outside of that, man, I think it should be a fun league. We try to make it. We got a new commissioner. CK is new commissioner in the league too. So CK, CK rules with an iron fist sometimes. So y'all better make sure y'all do what y'all need to do. But outside of that, man, looking forward to the league, and hopefully next season we'll be able to add a couple more people too, or at least one more person. We know Kuno may want to be added or whatnot, so hopefully we'll get a chance to get him on board in the second season. But so far the schedules are created for the full year, so most likely we're not adding anybody this year, but should make for a fun league though. But outside of that, we got the Rockets owner just joined.
Houston
Rockets owner just joined. Got anything to add, BHB, before we cut it off?
Man, nah, I just got on to get my invite.
All right. Yeah, once you load up so another thing, y'all, in order for y'all to get y'all league invite, y'all gotta load into 2K, because for some reason they don't let me send them if users ain't in the game. So I sent Span his, and then I'm finna send BHB his. So J-Rock, Mike, Will, Keith, y'all let us know when y'all get on, and we can send those out to y'all. I don't know if you or CK can send them. Can y'all see if y'all can send them?
I'll check and see.
Check it out, so CK.
So you gotta have whole L1 and R1 at the same time, and then go to the who's online. See if you can send BHB joint.
Alright, let me quit out getting no shot. Hit L1 and R1 at the same time from where?
Just on the
like main screen?
Yeah, like on the calendar. Like if you're on the your game calendar.
L1 and R1?
Mm-hmm.
Not doing anything. If I'm into my league in my calendar?
Yeah.
I don't see that option. You see that option? Call out.
I just let you shit.
I just went on sit your junk though, BHB. I felt like one other thing, man. I wanted to mention right quick. It was the
free agents, trades, anything like that.
Trades will pretty much stay the same too. We got a committee of 3 guys, and we're gonna run the trades the same way. We'll try to, like I said, I think the best thing is we're gonna try to be as transparent as possible about the trades to make sure everybody's aware of what we're trying to do to make it fair. So one thing we'll try to do is trades that come through, we're gonna discuss them, and then trades that we'll just make sure that we're trying to be as transparent as possible, because we want to make sure everybody feel like they getting their best foot forward for the deals they submit to. So trades are already kind of hard on here as is. So I'm expecting, if the trade gonna be submitted, most likely should be a pretty good one, because they are already difficult to make. Free agents. Oh yeah, so y'all already know also the extensions. Y'all know how 2K is on the you can't extend players on this game. So we'll do the extension similar to how we did it last year too. Like if you got a player that you know you want to keep and you don't want him to go to free agency, we'll have extensions available where we can extend the guy manually, this season before he get to the off season too. So that'll help out on some guys.
What's the deadline on that, there?
So that's a good question. So I said it 3 weeks. The trade deadline is 2 weeks, and then the extension deadline is 3 weeks. But I would say honestly, as long as the guy, if you get the extension in before we get to the playoffs, you're in good shape. Like as long as you do it before the playoffs, because we can change that at any time. But the trade deadline is 2 weeks. It's 2 weeks starting Sunday. So that means that the trade deadline will be cut on. Let's see the 15th. So the trade deadline will be on the 29th. So that'll be the last day to make trades on. So everybody get 2 trades, 2 trades like last year, and them 2 trades roll into the off season too. So if you made a trade during the season, that means you only get 1 trade until that next season hit. Or if you do 2 trades during the season, that means you got to wait all the way until the next season starts before you can make your next trade. So, but outside of that, just check the rules, y'all. The rules are pinned in the group me. The format of the teams is pinned in the group me, and I actually think the schedule is pinned in the group me too. So everything should be in the group me. The group me will be your best friend throughout all this. So appreciate everybody. And let's have a good league, man. Hopefully we can get this junk a full. We always say a full 5 seasons, but probably end up being 4. So if we do a full 4 seasons, that'll be dope. Probably
one team up, nigga.
1 month a season or something like that, which should push us straight into all-star team up or something. That's around March or April. So that's around when the playoffs start in the NBA anyway. So that's probably perfect timing. So, but that's all I got. Y'all got anything else?
Trade.
You said what's our date, baby?
Trade just came through.
Damn. I sent you an invite too, Span.
I'm
in here now.
Oh, okay.
Do you want the morale off on?
Oh, yeah. So that's a good question. So, I mean, it's really optional, but I always suggest everybody turn morale off. Just because sometimes it can get a little tricky with this game. You can have morale go down and you doing everything right. So I would suggest turning it off, but it's kind of up to the owner what they want to do with it.
Cool. So all the other settings we can adjust.
Yeah. Cool. Well, everything else is off. Like you don't want because everything else is kind of on automation. Like if you turn it on, that means the computer will start kind of doing. And you don't want this computer doing your stuff. It ain't like auto recruit on college football. That John,
let them learn.
That John tear you up on here. So, all right, fellas, that's all we got, man. So we'll have another pod probably. When you think next pod will be? CK call off
next week. I mean, we might do one early in the week after the first couple of days, just see what happens. Probably. Yeah.
Cool. All right, next pod will be like next week sometime after we see a couple games knockout. All right, fellas, that's all we got, man.
All right. Must be easy.
Holla.
Hell no.